We have Mecca in the building. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Your name, Mecca. What's the origin of your name?
I'm named after the holy city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
My mom and dad named me that name, so it's my real name.
Real name?
Yeah. So a lot of people think I just...
Yeah, Mecca, that's pretty much the Holy Land, so I'm guessing your family's, no? Not at all?
No.
Wow.
We're pretty, we're spiritual. We don't necessarily, like, abide to religion. Like, me and my mom and dad kind of, like, I practice African spirituality. My mom is kind of into it. I'm into it a little bit. And my dad is just like, I pray and I'm good. So,
yes.
You know, we don't really go to church like that.
So you don't really
anymore.
do religion at all?
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. As far as religion, I'm like, I don't do it because I feel like religion pretty much divides people. So
yeah,
that's why I'm really not into it. You're originally from Houston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell me your upbringing in Houston.
What do you want to know necessarily?
Just growing up, how was it for you growing up?
I would say, like, my parents are pretty coming from a very Afrocentric family.
Yeah.
Hence the name. So I grew up around people in the nation and stuff like that. Like, my mom used to be Muslim for like a small period of time. Like, when she was in college, she kind of dabbled and practiced Islam a little bit. But yeah, my parents are just very like Afrocentric, and I grew up around that. And then, like, I would say, like, school wise, like, I kind of grew up in the suburbs dealing with that kind of upbringing, the push and pull of, like, being in a home where your parents like, be black and proud, and then you go to school and you're getting bullied for being black and proud by black people. But
that's crazy.
It's okay. But yeah, I would just say my upbringing was just, you know, everything that made me who I am today. I would definitely say that, like most people's upbringing. I don't know what else to say about that.
And how long have you been in Dallas?
This is 20, going on year 5.
5 years?
Yeah.
I read in the article you pretty much kind of have like a love-hate relationship with Dallas. What is that all about?
I have a love-hate relationship with Texas, period. But I guess, you know, it's still like that. I feel like Dallas and Houston, we're kind of like distant cousins that kind of fight a little bit. We love each other, but it's like, we better. I'm better. This is better. We're better. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with Dallas just because I'm from Houston and I like be missing home sometimes. Yeah. But at the same time, I like the art scene here, and I like the fact that it's like a central space for artists. You know, I like Deep Ellum. Like, that's a really good spot for, you know, performing and meeting other artists, meeting like-minded people. That's the main thing I really like about Dallas, is that it's a lot of like-minded people around here. Not saying it's not like that in Houston. It definitely is. I just feel like for me it was kind of hard to tap into that scene. Yeah. And probably because, like, when I went to college, like, I went to college in Louisiana, so I went to Southern in Baton Rouge, and then I went to college in Denton. So it's like, I never really got to spend my adult years in Houston. So
yeah, how did you like it in Louisiana when you went to college out there?
I loved it, man. I miss it so much. Yeah. Like, that HBCU experience is nothing like it. But, you know, I decided to change my major, and they didn't have it anymore. And it was kind of like, it's kind of sad how they do HBCUs, especially it being an A&M college. They didn't really have enough money, and I'm an art major, so it was kind of like me hearing them say, oh, maybe your major's not going to be here next year or not. I was just like, okay, I'm going to have time for the back and forth. I need to just go somewhere where it's stable, you know.
So ideally, where would you like to live?
Where would I like to live? I'm a Gemini, so my mind changes all the time.
Yeah, so you'll pretty much move around.
I just want to be, I just want to live in so many different places, like overseas, you know, live in New York for a little bit, Atlanta, LA for a little bit, even like Colorado for a little bit. Just so many different places I want to live. So I want to be in different area codes.
Yeah, so let's go to your singing career. When did you first say, yeah, I want to sing? When did you first get into music?
I've always loved music. Like, on my mom's side of the family, they're very musically, like, inclined.
Yes.
So I'll just say, let's see, 5, I was like, yeah, I want to be Beyonce.
At 5 years old?
And so then, like, you know, from then on, it's just always been a dream of mine. And it's just funny, like, going back to, like, upbringing, I forgot to say this, like, my parents, like, because when I really started getting on the scene, I kind of just started off rapping more.
Yes.
But my parents met each other. Well, they met each other before, but my mom didn't like him, so she didn't remember my daddy. And then they met each other again at a rap convention, and that's when it was, like, sparks or whatever. So, like, I guess, like, I'm, like, the spawn of, like, hip-hop hippies, so it's really cool.
Okay. So, what were some of your earliest influences as far as music? Who did you look up to?
I would say one of my biggest, like, influences as a child was Lauryn Hill, most definitely. Yeah. Like, as a young black woman, especially a young dark-skinned black woman, seeing that representation. Yeah. Like, yes, Beyonce is one of my biggest inspirations, but seeing somebody that looks like you, like, doing it, and then you're like, oh, yeah, I could be like her, too. Like, you know, I would definitely say she's one of them. And Erica, Left Eye, the list goes on. I could be here all day listing who I love.
So your singing style, how would you even categorize it?
So in the Dallas Observer, I think it was one of those articles, my friend who, he was the audio engineer for my project, he described it as, what do you call it?
Space gospel.
Space gospel. Yeah. I was like, damn, that's a good I like that. So I'm gonna rock with that for the rest of my life now.
Space gospel. Yeah, because when I heard your track Crystal Meth, before I even heard that term, I was like, this is like a track to play if you was going to the moon. Like, that's the kind of feel that it gave me. So when I heard them calling it space gospel, I was like, wow, I really can understand that.
Thank you.
So does faith impact your music at all?
Yeah, I would definitely say faith, because I practice African spirituality. You know, I do believe in God, which I, you know, call Most High, because I don't necessarily know if God is a man or a woman. Yeah. I think God is just a great omnipotent being. But I believe also in honoring your ancestors. And I definitely believe, like, ancestors really breathe through us. Yeah. And so a lot of the time when I create music or create anything, I'm always thanking the creators and the spirit guides around me. And even when it comes to, like, if I get a beat and I have an idea of what I want to write, but I don't want to force the idea. I just try to, like, just ask the ancestors to just breathe in whatever words that needs to be spoken onto the track. So that's where my faith usually comes in. Because sometimes I'll write something and I'm like, I don't know if that really came from me. Like, that's another entity, like, speaking through me, you know, so.
So when did you first start writing? What was the earliest song you ever made?
I made a song. I remembered it up until I was 10, but I made a song when I was 6 about Tweety Bird. I don't even know why the hell. Tweety Bird used to be one of my favorite cartoon characters. Yeah. I thought Tweety Bird was a girl for the longest time.
I did.
But
for real, I did.
I thought Tweety Bird was so cute, and I wrote a song about Tweety Bird. And and from then on, I just kept writing, because I was the only child for a long time, so a lot of time, like, I would just be, like, coloring. I was very, like, you know, by myself sometimes if I wasn't hanging out with my god sisters and stuff. So I would just, like, color and write, or, like, come up with, like, stories and stuff, and, like, journals. I have so many journals at home, like, at my dad's house, of random things.
Yeah. So, what was the turning point to make you say, you know what, now it's time for me to drop this EP and I'm really going to take it serious? When did you first take it serious?
Well, the idea of releasing a project, I had it, I think, 2014. I went to this concert where I met, it was Jambalaya Fest, and Underachievers is one of like my favorite rap groups, and I met them or whatever, and I met one of the rappers in the group, Issa Gold, and I was like, yo, I sing, and I was just like conversating with him about like singing and stuff. I had no music out, and he was like, all right, send me some music, and I was like, I don't have any music. And so that night I just like recorded something on my GarageBand on my laptop, and then I sent it to him. It sounded crappy, but he liked it, and from then on I was like, okay, yeah, like this is somebody, this is what I'm working towards, is somebody, doing something I'm working towards. So from then on I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it seriously. But last year was when I really was like, all right, I'm gonna put my money into this for real. Like, I don't care if I go broke, like this is my project, like it needs to be out.
Yeah, so as far as your style, we spoke about it and we called it space gospel. A few podcasts ago, I was asking the question to a lot of people, does R&B still exist anymore? Or is it now we're just in a space where we can just be way more creative because we don't have those label barriers to stop us? Does R&B still exist to you?
I think R&B does still exist. I think for me, honestly, for me as an artist, I don't ever want to really be put into a box. Yeah. But if there is a box that you're going to automatically put me in, it's R&B and hip-hop. But I think just like with hip-hop or with rap, it's so many different branches to the genre that is just like, people should be able to experiment in any kind of, genre. Like rock has alternative rock. Like I call my music style alternative R&B, because it's like R&B, but I'm mixing it with different kinds of styles. So it's, I think it still exists. I think people are just
stuck in their ways.
Yeah, stuck in their ways. They can't accept change.
Yeah. So the EP, FRUITTAPE. What was the name? What was the process about the name? Why did you call it FRUITTAPE?
So, when I first thought of having a project, I had this name. I don't even want to say it no more, but it was some long ass name. I know. So I had these shirts that I made a long time ago called Dank Brothers, and it's like they're like these little like Picasso inspired like guys that look really like trippy, and so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna be Miss Dank. And then I was like, the misadventures of Miss Dank. And I was like, that shit sounds so corny after a while. And then I came up one day, I don't know what I was doing, I just thought of FRUITTAPE, and I was like, yes, that's better, that's way more catchy, people remember that. So, and then after that I came up with the meaning, because like I didn't really have a meaning when I came up with the name. I just thought the name sounded cool. But to me, like with this project, it's just fruit for thought. And it's all about like just giving the people something that can feed them, Yes. So I'm going to throw out a few titles of your EP and tell me the thought process on them as you were making it. On the track, Saccharine. What was the process behind that? So last year, like in the summer, this guy hit me up on SoundCloud. This guy from California named Romsey, who's became, a nice like producer friend of mine. And he was just like, hey, your music sounds cool, can we collab? And I listened to his stuff and I was like, yes, this is exactly what's in my head, like, yes. And so he sent me the Saccharine beat, and I was like, this sounds cool. Like, it sounds like it needs to be on. The beat sounded very cinematic, and I've been watching a lot of Sailor Moon at that time. Yeah. So that's what inspired me, like Sailor Moon. And I was like, I want to write a song about Sailor Moon, but I don't want it to sound like it's a song about Sailor Moon. Like, like Sailor Moon, not something corny. And another person who inspired me was Naipalm, because Naipalm from this group called Hiatus Coyote, she has a song about Miyazaki, and he is a anime artist who did like a whole bunch of like great anime films. One of them in particular, Spirited Away. If anyone knows about that one, it's a really good one. You should definitely go watch it. Yeah. And she wrote a song about him, and I was just like, this is beautiful. She wrote a song about an artist, and it doesn't sound corny. Yeah, it sounds awesome.
So the track Crystal Meth, was that almost like a ode to Houston in a sense?
No, honestly, it in a way, I guess you could say, but really it was an ode to myself. Like, I was going through a whole bunch at that time. It was a retrograde. Somebody like fucked me over on some shit. And so I was like, no, you're not gonna let this get you down. You're gonna transform. You're gonna get up out this shit. Get up out the shit. And that was like, my friend Jamarcus had sent me the beat that day, and then I was just like playing on my loop pedal, and I was like, I was just freestyling, and then I came up with that song. So.
Okay, cool. And this is one of my favorite tracks, the track God Incense.
Thank you.
Yes. What was the process behind that one?
The guy, he's actually a photographer, which is funny, but he's like multi-talented, and he was just like, I got this beat I want to send you. I think you might be good on it. And so I listened to it, and I was on the train. I was like, this sounds good. At first, I was scared because I was like, I just don't know what to do with this. Maybe I should just tell him to keep it. And I was like, no. You're not going to give up. And so I just kept writing. It took me about a few weeks to write that song because I was just like trying to find the right inspiration, kept changing it, kept being different songs, and then finally God's Incense was born. And I just really wanted to write something kind of just about the song. Most of these songs are like about myself. Like, as you see on the project, it's not a lot of love songs. It's very like reflective, and that song is very reflective. It's just kind of like it's about being a divine feminine. I got a reading a long time ago, and one of the cards was a divine feminine card, and that's what I'm really trying to grow into right now. And so that's kind of what I wrote the song about, and just want everyone to see that potential within themselves, to be a light. So what really inspires you as far as music? Life.
Just life. That's where everything comes from.
Yeah, life, spirituality, other people's life, anything can inspire me. Like yesterday, this lady inspired me because she was so happy about the trees at the grocery store, and I was like, damn, I need to be that happy.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. So your first show, you remember that? How did that one go for you?
I've done so many. Let me think. Oh, my first show was at UNT. No, really, it was at Southern. I did like a talent show, and I was like, oh, this is okay. I guess my first show, performing my own music, I remember, and I'm such a perfectionist. I was definitely mad.
Yeah.
Because I'm a perfectionist, and I was like, I want to do this, and it didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but
do you ever get nervous at all?
I'm a naturally nervous person.
Yes.
But when it comes to being on stage now, I feel more at home. It's kind of like I just let that area be my release of anything. So I don't get nervous like that anymore. I mainly get nervous about I don't get nervous to perform. I get nervous about everything else that's going on around me. Like, is the sound gonna go well? Are people gonna show up? Like, I'm nervous about that kind of stuff nowadays.
Yeah. So when you're, making music, you're writing, you're doing shows, what do you like to do besides that? What do you like to do in your spare time?
Sleep.
You just pretty much a sleeper?
I mean, because my hobbies are my loves. So, I mean, my not my hobbies, not my loves, like what I want to do with like singing used to be a hobby, but this is what I want to be my career. So I don't consider that a hobby. Yes. Like art and like making art, because I'm an art major, so painting and drawing and stuff like that, like I don't necessarily consider that a hobby anymore. It's just what I do. So for me, like when I'm not doing that, when I'm not creating, like I just like to rest and meditate and, you know, do spiritual stuff. Nowadays, it's kind of like what I've been into, you know, kind of like intermittently fasting and, you know, tending to my altar and just like meditating and just doing stuff for myself.
Yes.
Without nobody else.
And I also heard that you're into fashion and your own merch line. Mm-hmm. How is that coming along for you?
I finally got a screen printing little machine thingy thing, so
yeah,
it's about to be popping soon, very soon.
So will Dank Brothers eventually come out?
Come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll come back soon.
Because that actually sounds very interesting.
Yeah, they're gonna come back. I'm gonna bring them back. A lot of people. One of my friends, Evan Bournes, he's a rapper. He wears my shirt a lot. And people like will be like, whose shirt is that? Where'd you get that from? It's like Mecca. And then they're like, dang, you need to bring those back. And I'm like, I should. I don't even have any shirts left.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. So as far as your love life and music, how are you able to balance those two? Yeah.
My love life and music, I don't really have a love life.
You don't really? So you're single right now?
I'm single. Yeah.
Wow.
Basically.
Is it because of the music, or you just rather not do relationships?
You really? Maybe that's one of the questions I should have told you not to ask. Yeah. No, just kidding. I mean, I'm single because of circumstances, I guess, but I'm not really like too worried about a relationship right now. Like if it happens, like with whatever is going on, like if it happens naturally, then it happens. I'm trying not to sweat that kind of stuff right now, honestly.
Okay, so as far as your type of guy, like what is your type of guy?
I like artists.
You like artists?
Yeah. Creative people.
Yeah. So we're finna take a little different route.
Hold up, but not R&B niggas.
You don't like R&B guys? Why not?
Hell no, I don't do them kind of niggas no more.
They too soft.
No.
What's wrong with R&B
I guess
guys?
it's just not my type. I had a bad experience. Never again. Mm-mm.
Explain the experience to me.
Oh no. I'm just saying, like, I'm not really into the singing nigga. I'm really not. Yeah. I'm just not.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would like to hear one of those stories, like, that made you say, nah, no more R&B guys.
I just noticed, like, the guy, like, that was, like, an R&B ass nigga. I just noticed he just was, like, really, a no for me after a while, just through a lot of different situations. Yeah. Maybe if another R&B nigga comes around and he's not an R&B nigga, he just sings R&B, then maybe, but I just noticed they're kind of corny to me.
Kind of corny. Yeah, so as far as music, you got the FRUITTAPE out now. So what's next? What you coming out with next?
Really right now, just working on pushing the FRUITTAPE and gonna be putting out visuals next year. So yes. We're already working on that right now, getting the treatments written up. My dad is a videographer, and it's very funny working with your family. Yeah. He's gonna be helping me do the videos or whatever, and so I gave him some of my treatments, and sometimes his ideas be really off the wall, and sometimes my ideas be really off the wall, and we be clashing, and he'll be like, why did you think of that? What the hell? I'm like, can you just work with me? Like, it's just, this is what I want. But we're gonna have some visuals out for 2018, so it's gonna
what's gonna be the first song you plan on doing a video to?
The first song I plan on doing a video to is Insecurity Blankets. Yeah. And then Crystal Meth will have a video, and God's Incense and Saccharine. So
yes. Insecurity Blankets. I heard that came out maybe a few years before you dropped the tape.
Yeah. Time flies by so fast. All the years feel like they're the same. Nowadays, like 2017, I feel like we were just in January.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I came out with that in like 2015. See, the thing was, I recorded it, and then I love him. That's my boo. Stephen, he never gave me the track outs. So I just went and re-recorded it with somebody else. But we're going to put out the other version of Insecurity Blankets really soon. You know, it's just, we're transitioning, everyone transitioning in life at different points in life. Sometimes everything doesn't go as planned, but I feel like, you know, I'm growing into understanding that time does not always move in the way that you want to, but everything happens at the right time. So yeah.
And like I said, I wanted to take a different route. So I would like to know, because you seem highly intelligent, so I would like to know, like, what are your thoughts on President Trump?
Lord. That's
how you feel about, like,
Like, he doesn't exist to me. Yeah, I don't allow him to exist.
I try to do that myself, like ignore him as much as possible. But it seems like the more I ignore him,
the more shit he does.
The more he does, and it's like hard to ignore him. What advice would you have for people to, you know, try to block him out?
I'm like a rebel. I'm a slight anarchist, but not completely, because I do believe there needs to be some kind of order. But I feel like just live your life. Like, don't allow this person, this human being, to stop you from living your life to the fullest potential. Like, stop allowing him to have power over us. Like, he doesn't. He's just a president. He's just a figurehead, in my opinion. So I don't think he has any kind of power, and I won't allow him to have any kind of power over my life.
Yes.
So that's just how I look at it.
Yeah. Did the track you made, Saccharine, when I heard that track, I don't know why, but it made me think of Trump. Like
that. No.
Were you in the mindset of that when you made that track?
No, I was definitely not. I was just in the mindset, because I identify with the characters of Sailor Moon, and I feel like I've been through, you know, my own kind of situations, feeling like I'm being like beaten down by the world or beaten down by whatever, and understanding with that song is kind of like me saying to myself, like, no matter how weak you think you are, you're stronger than anybody else that thinks you're weaker than them. Like, stop thinking you're weak, like, you're strong as fuck. And that's basically what that song is about. Like, for anyone thinking they're the weakest link, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You'll always prevail.
So we closing out the podcast. If you could leave us with one of your songs, which song would it be?
God's Incense.
God's Incense. And why would you leave us with that song overall?
That's my personal favorite.
Yeah.
So,
was that track a bio of yourself?
A bio of myself?
Yeah. Were you singing about yourself when you made that song?
Basically, yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Thank you.
Well, like I said, we're going to leave out to that track. I had to make sure I got you on this podcast because I heard your music and I was totally just blown away. I'm excited for the visuals. Will there be a Fruit Tape 2?
Yes, there actually will be a part 2.
And I will be looking out for Fruit Tape Part 2. I appreciate you for coming out to the show.
Thank you.
This is SpeakerBox Show. I'm Kenny Tiller, and I am gone.
SpeakerBox.
I sing, singing lullabies of butterflies on your dark skin. The sun leaves the sky, but the light is still shining whiter on the skin, on the gold skin. She's the water light that we bask in. From the depths of gifts are a presence. If you let her, she'll give you blessings. She's the mother, greet her with the holy name. She walks in the darkness, her aura is shining. It smells like God's incense, bring blessing. She walks in the darkness, her aura is shining. It smells like God's incense, bring blessing. What a star, where are you? What a star, where are you? What a star, where are you? Twinkling, shining in the darkness. Twinkling, shining in the darkness. Twinkling, water, a star. She walks in the darkness. Her aura is shining. It smells like God's incense, bring blessing. She walks in the darkness, her aura is shining. It smells like God's incense, bring blessing. Chirp, 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 chirp. Rebirth yourself. Rebirth yourself. Rebirth yourself. Chirp, 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 chirp. She walks in the darkness. Aura is shining. As the sun comes out, she greets you. In the morning air, she greets you. As you continue journey, she greets you. She greets you, she greets you, she greets you. As you rebirth yourself, she greets you. She's the light that star travel greets you. Midnight blessings to you, to greet you. To greet you, to greet you, to greet you. As your heart fills up to the heavens, greet your holy highness, she'll greet you. Greet your holy highness, give blessings, give blessings, give blessings. She walks in the darkness, her aura is shining. It smells like God's incense, bring blessings. She walks in the darkness, her aura is shining. It smells like God's incense, bring blessings. Walking in the dark, say I'm lighting up the darkness, bringing all the light to the path where yeah I spark it. I can make a dream, I can make a dream come true. Come to the light, see my aura fill shine through. Twinkle water, star like sun on the water. Bring it gold, blessings, lotus hands out the water. I can make a dream, I can make a dream come true. Come to the light, let my fairy dust shine through. The smell of God's incense is what I bring. The blessings in the air is what you see. Cause I bring it all to you, bring it all to you, bring it all to you, you. She walks in the darkness, her aura is shining. It smells like God's incense, bring blessings. She walks in the darkness, her aura is shining. It smells like God's incense, bring blessings. She walks in the darkness, her aura is shining. aura is shining. I smell like I sense it. Bring blessings.